everyone, it's Hajra. I'm back with another master study. This one's a really cool gouache piece done with Watercolor aqua bricks. It's also part of a new series of videos I'll be doing where I do pieces in a postcard or travel journal format based on various exhibitions in the San Francisco Bay Area. This first one is a study of a lovely oil painting hanging in the DeYoung Museum, and it's called The Blue Veil by Edmund Tarbell. A few of you have asked for looser pieces, so you'll be happy that Tarbell was an American Impressionist painter who made lovely use of loose brushstrokes and a high-key pastel palette in the Impressionist vein. So this video will start with a blue grisaille and some yellow staining of the blouse and some violet staining of the veil already done. I'm going to add color stains for clarity, just so my skin area and the yellowish blouse area is clearly demarcated from all of those folds of that veil. My study is also more violet than Tarbell's piece, and I will also omit the green in her hat, so mine is actually more limited in its colors than his is. For this entire study, I'll add color via a wet-on-dry application, and I'm using Watercolor aqua bricks because they are an opaque gouache consistency. It's almost impossible to find a light-fast, artist-quality gouache pan set, and these Watercolor aqua bricks have recently filled that gap for me. But maybe you are not using gouache pans like I am here. To use transparent watercolor pans or tubes as gouache, you can do one of these three things. Use just your opaque or semi-opaque paints. Look at the product label or website for pigment properties, including opacity. This way you can just get a more opaque look from the start without white in every color. Or two, you can add around 15% zinc or titanium white, and titanium is a more opaque one of those, to transparent colors. This basically means 1 dab of white to 4 to 5 dabs of color measured on your palette with a brush or palette knife and then mixed into the color. The color mix shouldn't look too much whiter, just more dense or opaque. If you add too much white, it will be a tint, a lighter version of the color, which you do need for some of the painting, but you don't want everywhere. Lastly, you can use transparent or semi-transparent colors on the painting, and then while the color is still wet, add a dab of white into the brushstrokes to opacify it directly on the painting. This works well when you want saturated color and only a touch of opacity or white. I use a third method a lot for this demo because my colors are already opaque gouache, and now it's just a matter of looking and re-looking and carefully studying the oil painting reference and emulating Tarbell's color. And remember, it will make a difference that he spent days or weeks on this piece while we're only doing an hour-and-a-half study. And he worked in oil and we are using gouache, so as I've stated in past videos, he will easily achieve soft edges while we will easily achieve hard ones. There has to be a conscious effort to make and preserve softer edges in watercolor and gouache. And don't stress, it's just a small quick study and you're here to have fun and learn. The paper you use will also have an impact as well. I used Fabriano cold press for this and it isn't as easy or absorbent as Arches or Arche for me. I've tried several watercolor papers for watercolor and gouache and I still feel that Arche works the best. The face here has a lot of colorful pastel hues in it. Pinks, yellows, violets, oranges, and Impressionism was all about color expression, so be bold with your color application. You might have to spruce up the color a bit, once or twice, as gouache does try to dry duller than it looks while it's wet. And notice how the yellow and orange of her hat looks like a flame amidst all those cooler colors and even has sort of the shape of a flame. The background is just a smudgy pastel mix of grays made from all the colors in the painting. Keeping the background grayer and lower intensity allows the figure and her veil in the foreground to really take that spotlight. Now it's back to refining the colors and the folds of the veil and hat and softening certain areas so it resembles diaphanous cloth. You can actually go back and keep adding stroke lines, first with color, then with white, and then with more color to make sure you can develop all the different lines that are running through the fabric, and it'll actually make it look more like it's being pulled in a particular direction. I'm really in love with the postcard and travel journal size right now, so you can expect to see a lot more amazing videos about pieces based on exhibitions around the San Francisco Bay Area. If you want to join me and do a travel size, then that's great. Otherwise, do whatever size is comfortable for you when you do your studies. The original displayed in the DeYoung has a striking gold frame, and metallic framing really does flatter pastel color schemes. So I've actually taken one of those Strathmore art mount cards shown in a previous video, and I've painted the whole border area with gold watercolor paint. When my little painting is mounted onto it, it looks like it has a gold frame. A great way to add class and make your studies look like awesome little miniatures. So I'm going to stop here. I think there can be more softening of edges as the gouache does dry harder than the soft, blurry oil, but I'm happy with this as, again, it's only an hour-and-a-half that we spent on this study. Hope you enjoyed this master study in gouache of the Blue Veil, and stay tuned for more awesome art videos. Until then, happy painting!